Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Om Vishpad Paramamsa Privrajacharya Stotra Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadramai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Harinam Sankirtan Mahayajna Ki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Today, I have some other shloka. Can they display? No, today is Govardhan Leela. No, I'm speaking about Govardhan. I have some other shloka. 10, 24, 25. Tasmat gavam brahmananam. Tasmat gavam brahmananam. Adrescharabhyatam makaha. Adrescharabhyatam makaha. Ya Indra Yaga Sambharas. Yat Indra Yaga Sambharas. Tair Ayam Sadhyatam Makaha. Tair Ayam Sadhyatam Makaha. Tasmat Gavam Brahmananam. Tasmat Gavam Brahmananam. Adrescharabhyatam Makaha. Adrescharabhyatam Makaha. Ya Indrayaga Sambharas. Ya Indrayaga Sambharas. Dhairayam Sadhyatam Makaha. Dhairayam Sadhyatam Makaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, may a sacrifice for the pleasure of the cows, the Brahmanas, therefore, may a sacrifice for the pleasure of the cows, the Brahmanas, and Govardhan hill begin. With all the paraphernalia collected for worshipping Indra, let this sacrifice be performed instead. Purport: Lord Krishna is famous as Go Brahmana Hita, a well-wishing friend of the cows and the Brahmanas. Lord Krishna specifically included the local Brahmanas in his proposal because he is always devoted to those who are devoted to the godly Vedic culture. Please repeat after me. Therefore, may a sacrifice for the pleasure of the cows, the Brahmanas and Govardhan hill begin with all the paraphernalia collected for worshipping Indra. Let this sacrifice be performed instead. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Akshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsya. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim. Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So welcome everybody for the Govardhana Puja Mahotsav. So today is the day when Lord Krishna lifted the Govardhan mountain. And today is also the day when Krishna performed the Govardhan Parikrama for the first time in the actual Govardhan Parikrama in Govardhan. So every special day, uh, the Lord's Leelas are very deep, profound, and have multiple meanings. It may appear like one Leela, simple Leela, but actually Lord is conveying many things. So Govardhan Leela is one such very rich Leela, which means Lord is achieving many things. Sometimes they say you throw a stone and you bring down two mangoes, which normally isn't done. But when the Lord decides, He can He can actually achieve many things through one Leela, through one activity. Many things He can achieve. So Govardhan Leela is one such example. So at the beginning of the Leela, we have to remember that Indra, um, who is a loyal, dear servant of Krishna, for some reason became very arrogant and very proud, and so much so that sometimes this happens to those who have power, authority, wealth, good birth, intelligence, very beautiful to see, look, etc. They tend to get carried away. Janmaishwarya Shrutashribhim. So Indra also fell for that kind of a thing. He was very powerful. He was uh, very well worshipped, very revered, or very. In a, he was actually the king of the Devatas. His wife Sachi Mata, he had his family, and then in his assembly, the greatest of great among the rishis and munis would be there, and they would always be paying respect to him. So Indra was actually an extremely powerful person. Imagine the Devatas, whether it is Vayu, Agni, Ashwini Kumaras, Varuna, all of them reporting to Indra. Indra was so powerful. He was the leader of the demigods, the Devatas. So over a period of time, somehow he got carried away and he became victim of pride, arrogance. And he thought that this power is mine, or even sometimes when people are at the pinnacle of their power, they tend to forget for what is the benefit? Why have they been given power? Why have they become powerful? Who has entrusted that power? They even forget the person who made them powerful in the first place. So we see this in the material world quite commonly when they become very powerful or rich or win elections or win something or become then their whole behavior changes. Sometimes they think they're very invincible. Like there was this great boxer who said, "I am the greatest," because he won a few medals or something like that. So this is sometimes it happens. So, but a Vaishnava is very careful. He is very cautious. He always is surrounded by well-wishers, guru, acharyas, brahmanas, etc. So always advise him caution. And Indra somehow didn't care for all these things. So Krishna had it in his mind that someday he has to teach Indra a lesson. Either the pride goes away by their own introspection or by virtue of doing service, or sometimes Krishna has to forcibly remove it, or it is removed by the arrangement of the Lord. Sometimes, of course, Krishna has to intervene and remove the pride. That does not mean that Indra is less of a devotee. This happens to many devotees also. Actually, Krishna loves Indra. Krishna is a well-wisher of Indra. Krishna is like a well-wisher of all the living entities. So he is the well-wisher of Indra. So he is also thinking, this devotee of mine to whom I have given such a huge responsibility, unfortunately is carried away by this power that I have entrusted to him. So Krishna wants to teach him a lesson. Krishna actually, it is said, does not want any of his devotees to have pride. Pride is very dangerous. Pride is dangerous because, like I said, you tend to forget the very person by whose mercy, compassion, you have become powerful or whatever. And then because of pride, many people, they commit offenses. Pride is risky. And then it goes, pride can, because of offenses that you commit, you may destroy your own spiritual life. So he was very concerned. Krishna was concerned. So at one end, he wanted to teach Indra a lesson. The other end, it is said that the gopis of Vrindavan and the associates of Vrindavan, the intimate associates of Vrindavan, who were always wanting to be with Krishna all the time, they were also feeling a little, they had a secret desire in their heart, which they had not, which very secret, confidential desire in their heart. The gopis of Vrindavan used to think that every day in the morning, Krishna goes away with all his friends to graze the cows in the forest, and he comes back only late in the night, late in the evening. So we get to see him for a little while in the morning and a little while in the evening. And but our heart is not satisfied. We want to spend more time with Krishna, but Krishna goes away. So they are thinking, Shri Shri Radha Madana Mohan, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadramai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai. So they are secretly having a wish that they should spend more time with Krishna. Krishna should somehow spend more time with them. So practically, they wanted that Krishna should spend the whole day with them. Why does he go away? And Mother Yashoda doesn't allow us to go along with Krishna to the forest to graze the cows. She says, this is not the work of women. These are the boys' work. This is boys' work. You come and cook for Krishna if you want, like that. But cooking for Krishna is one thing, but being with Krishna is another thing. So they were all harboring a deep desire in their heart to be with Krishna all the time. And Krishna notices everything. This is one very sweet thing about Krishna. He notices, he observes everything. Krishna noticed that these gopis have this desire to spend more time with Krishna. So Krishna wanted to satisfy that also. And another quality of Krishna is he also likes to glorify devotees, appreciate devotees. So here is this Govardhan. Govardhan has done so much service, continuing to do so much service to Krishna and the gopas and the cows and the calves. So Krishna wanted to glorify the Govardhan mountain also for all this. So anybody who does service to Krishna, Krishna makes note, Krishna observes, Krishna remembers, and Krishna rewards in his own way, in his own very, very compassionate, generous way. Like Lord Rama, all the Vanaras who fought with him in the battle against Ravana, every one of them, Lord Rama rewarded in his own unique, very sweet way, very special way in which Lord Rama reciprocates with each one of them. You can imagine Krishna. Krishna Lord Rama was a little restrained, you could say, in his show of compassion or affection. Krishna was not like that. Krishna was the original Swarupa of the Supreme Lord himself. So he was a lot more reciprocative than Lord Rama is. Lord Rama was reserved, was a little restrained, was a little formal in his relationships. Krishna was not like that. Krishna is the original, mischievous, naughty, sweet-hearted, the darling of all the residents of Vrindavan. Actually, is the darling of the entire creation, universe also. So Krishna would reciprocate much more generously. So Krishna wanted to appreciate the efforts and the sacrifice and seva done by Govardhan. And then, of course, Krishna also wanted to establish another principle called, there's no need to worship the devatas when you can directly worship me. Why do you want to do that? There's no need at all. You can respect them, that's different. But you don't have to worship them. You don't have to be scared about them. So when Nanda Maharaj was planning to do this Indra Yajna, Krishna very innocently asks him, what is the purpose? Can you please tell me why everybody is busy running up and down, gathering ingredients for a big sacrifice? Whom are you worshipping? Krishna asked. What's going on? So then he tells Nanda Maharaj, we are all one family members. You cannot hide anything from me. You cannot say I'm only 6 years old or 7 years old. I don't have to tell you this. But you have to tell me everything. You can't keep secrets within the family. Krishna is so cunning and intelligent when he speaks. He's actually very smart. He's very clever. So Nanda Maharaj will say, all right, makes Krishna sit on his lap, and then he explains what is this going on. From time immemorial, we've been doing this Indra Puja. We're all Vaishyas. We depend on cow protection, grains, agriculture, etc. So how can we live without rain? For us, rain is so important. And Indra is the personality who produces rains, controls rain, provides rain at the right time, in the right quantity, in the right way. Because if the rain is too much in the wrong time or too less, anything can be disastrous. But he provides rain at the right time for all of us. So we've been, for time immemorial, for ages together, we've been conducting Indra Yagya by way of showing gratitude, etc. Now, Krishna doesn't fully approve of that idea. He says, why do you want to do this? No need. Nanda Maharaj is surprised. He says, no, my son, we have to do it. This is our culture. This is our etiquette. We receive from Indra, so we give him something. We worship him. We do a puja, annual ceremony for him. Then Krishna says, no, the rain does not come because of Indra. Everybody is surprised. They said, so how does it come? Krishna explains the whole philosophy of karma. Krishna says that as per everybody's karma, things will happen in their life. The devatas are bound to give the results of one's karma. Bound. If our karma is good, we are doing our duty well, we are doing everything well, we are doing this and that well. So the devatas are bound to send rain. It is not because of Indra, it's not because of his compassion. It is because there is a law of nature, law of karma. We do everything nicely, then the devatas are bound. They're duty bound to provide rain. It's not that Indra is going out of the way or something like that. There is the logic of karma which is applicable now here. Nanda Maharaj will be a little confused, and Krishna wants to convince him completely. So Krishna will then say that, by the way, Indra is not very expert at managing rain. Sometimes he sends too much, sometimes he sends less. If he sends too much, people will suffer, people will they become diseased, there's flooding, etc. So Indra is not very good. It means he's either not an expert in managing rain, or he's not in control of sending rain. Because sometimes there's too much, sometimes there's less. And if there's too much, there's botheration also. So it means it has nothing to do with karma. This is just your imagination. Krishna will tell Nanda Maharaj, it's just your imagination. Then Krishna will give the ultimate dialogue, after which Nanda Maharaj becomes fully convinced. Krishna says, what is this? You're saying Indra has to give rain. We have to do worship. We have to do Indra Yagya, Indra Yaga. Otherwise there'll be no rain. So there are the forests, there is the sea, there's the ocean, there's the mountains. Who is sitting there and doing yagya? And why is the rain coming there? Nanda will get completely bewildered when he hears Krishna speak like this. Everybody will get bewildered. It says, who is sitting in the ocean and performing Indra Yaga? Then why is there rain there? See, just so I'm telling you, believe me, accept me, trust me. Krishna is forcefully speaking. Trust me, accept, believe me, follow me. There's no connection between this puja and Indra. Otherwise, how it can rain in the forests and all. So after that, Nanda Maharaj becomes convinced. Actually, there is another reason. It's not that Nanda Maharaj is convinced and then he stopped doing Indra Yaga. In Vrindavan, the principle is not that I have to be convinced by Krishna or logic or something. Actually, the principle, the logic there is something else. There's a different kind of logic in Vrindavan. The logic is, whatever pleasing to Krishna, we will do. The logic there is different. It's not the ordinary logic and argument and counter argument and who wins the argument. No. There's only one logic that runs in Vrindavan. What is that? What is pleasing to Krishna? Anyway, even if Krishna had not argued convincingly, Nanda Maharaj would have accepted. Okay, my dear child, you think. Actually, Nanda Maharaj offers a compromise formula. Nanda Maharaj is also very intelligent. He says, all right, what you're saying is we should worship Govardhan, right? Don't worry, we'll worship Govardhan also. But allow us to continue this worship of Indra. That is when Krishna says the final dialogue. The final thing he says is, what about the oceans and forests and mountains? Then Nanda Maharaj becomes convinced. And then he's looking at Krishna so sweet, so innocent, so childish, so mischievous look on his face. And Nanda Maharaj will finally say, okay, whatever you say, we will do. We will do. Like that. So then Krishna was won the first phase of the battle. He has won. Cancellation of Indra Yagya. Now Govardhan Puja will happen. Then Krishna takes charge. He says, I will tell you how to worship Govardhan. This is a very amazing thing. Krishna personally directs. This is one festival that Krishna personally, he's the director, he's the producer, he's the script writer, he's the choreographer, he's everything is. Everything. He's the actor also, hero also. Krishna tells Nanda Maharaj, now take all the ingredients which you have used for, which you had planned to use for Indra, now let's use it for Govardhan. And Krishna says, what are the items they have to make, what are the dishes they have to make, and get the best of the Brahmanas, ask them to worship Govardhan, assemble all of them, then we'll all go to Govardhan and ask the gopis to dress up wearing colorful dresses, completely colorful dresses. As it is, the gopis of Vrindavan are exceptionally beautiful. They're beautiful because they're always trying to please Krishna. Anybody who's trying to please Krishna always, he actually becomes spiritually, materially, in every way, very, very attractive. Very, what can we say, graceful and beautiful. So as it is, the gopis are the most stunningly beautiful women of the world. Imagine now, Krishna says, they should all dress up so beautifully, like as if they're going for a wedding or a festival or something. Wear the best of ornaments, best of dresses, colorful dresses, and they should come. And then he says, even the gopas of Vrindavan should wear all their ornaments and they should come. Go to Govardhan and we will perform, get the best of the Brahmanas, organize, let's do a nice elaborate Govardhan puja. And then Krishna directs, you make halwa, you make puri, you make sabji, you make pakoras, you make kheer, and bring all milk sweets. So this is some unique, new experience for the residents of Vrindavan. Krishna is always treating them to something unique, something new, something beautiful, something very surprising, something very, very, what shall we say, filled with suspense, joy, happiness, excitement, and festive. Krishna is always treating them one after another, back to back, no break, no breaking time at all. What do you call it? Break. So one after another, back to back, Krishna is organizing all this. So they become so happy, they're thrilled, they're going there, they prepare everything. They come to Govardhan. And once they come to Govardhan, and Krishna directs them to assemble, put together all the items that they have cooked, tons and tons and tons of it, on the slopes of Govardhan. So there is elaborate description as to how these items are arranged. There are little ponds of kheer, butter, dahi, curd, milk, pakora, halwa, ponds, and then of course Krishna directs them in saying you should make one annakoot, mountain of rice, one huge mountain of rice. So they are busy making this on the slopes of Govardhan. But we also have to remember why Govardhan gets this kind of a unique festival in his honor. This whole festival is in honor of Govardhan. Govardhan is no ordinary mountain. Govardhan. The very name Govardhan indicates that Go means the cows and the calves. Vardhan means they become happy. Their happiness actually grows day by day, year by day, moment by moment, by being on the Govardhan. Govardhan. So this mountain has a special mood. The mood of this mountain is, may the cows and calves who are so dear to Krishna, we become very, very happy when they come to me, when they come into my slopes. May the associates of Krishna, the Gopas who play with Krishna as friends in the Sakya Bhava, may they also become happy. May they be wonderful, there'll be lakes of water and waterfalls and lush green grass on the slopes of Govardhan. So the grass and the water is for the cows and the calves. The grass is also so aromatic and so refreshing. It is said that the cows, they eat the grass on Govardhan, actually become very happy and become free from all diseases also. See, you must understand one thing. The mood in Vrindavan is that the devotees are always competing with one another to do what? Yes, to lovingly serve Krishna. So hence Govardhan is also called Haridasa Varyu. Haridasa Varyu is number one among the servants of Krishna. He is the greatest among the servants of Krishna. So Govardhan is also in a special mood. every resident of Vrindavan is always thinking, how do I please Krishna? Can I please Krishna more? What else can I do to please Krishna? This is the mood, the default mood of the residents of Vrindavan. Actually, when we also have that mood, then we can transport ourselves. We can go, we become eligible to go to Vrindavan. What is the mood? The mood is always competing with each other to serve Krishna more. Sometimes we compete with ourselves. I did so much today. Can I do more tomorrow? Can I do even more day after? Can I increase? Can the seva that I am doing increase eternally? Go on increasing for the pleasure of Krishna. So this is the mood of Govardhan. So Govardhan, it is said that on the slopes of Govardhan, there are many amazing arrangements. So there are the trees and the bushes and the waterfalls and the lakes and the grass, the patches of grass which the cows relish, and all the trees have fruits and aromatic flowers, and Krishna is playing with the boys on the branches of these trees, and there are rocky formations where Krishna Balaram will sit, and those places where Krishna Balaram sit, they become as soft as butter, though they are rock, and Krishna Balaram sit. And then there are separate places where Krishna, in the morning he plays with the cowherd boys. In the evening, sometimes he has sporting activities with the gopis. That's a different place. These are different places. And there are some caves on the slopes of Govardhan, which are meant for the boys to play. So they play hide and seek and different kind of games with Krishna. And then there are the bushes, and then there are the caves for the gopis of Vrindavan, which are filled with flowers and creepers and aromatic flowers and fragrances. And so the Krishna plays different kinds of leela, engages in different kind of leela with the gopis of Vrindavan. So Govardhan is thinking, every inch of Govardhan is serving Krishna, or the cows, or the calves, or the gopas, or the gopis, or Krishna Balaram. Every inch of Govardhan. So it's not just like Govardhan got picked up randomly. Just because Krishna wants to teach Indra a lesson, he says, all right, now go to the nearest mountain. No. Govardhan is richly deserving of this honor that Krishna gives. Because the mood of Govardhan is Govardhana. Increase the pleasure of Krishna's associates. Go on increasing the pleasure. So, on the slopes of Govardhan, all these are arranged. There are lakes of kheer and paisam and halwa and puri, and as per Krishna's wish, all these things are made. And then the worship the Govardhan. And Krishna says, before you worship the Govardhan, you should make sure that the Brahmanas, the best of the Brahmanas are brought there, and they are engaged in worshipping the Govardhan. So they are all assembled there, and they are so happy. And Krishna says, feed them nicely before they worship also. Feed them. So it's said that the Brahmanas who are assembled there are fed by Krishna's associates, and they become so happy. And it is said that they feed them very gently, lovingly, very respectfully you feed them. But feed them so much that even if the Devatas come and say, please come, we'll give you a feast of Amrita, nectar, Amrita, they should say, no. They should say, we don't want, we are full, we are very happy here. We don't want anything like that. They should say like that. Then when they open their mouth, these Brahmanas who are fed, Brahmanas means devotee, Vaishnava, cultured people. So they open their mouth, they will start blessing you. They will only start saying good things, nice things about you, they will be blessing you. So feed them or take care of them to the point where their heart melts, and they start blessing you all, blessing us, blessing all of us profusely. Krishna is directing this. So Krishna is also showing what is the position of a devotee in if we have a exalted, nice devotee in our midst, a Brahminical devotee, a dedicated Paramahamsa type of a devotee, how we should take care of him. So these Brahmanas are fed, then Krishna says, gift them also, reward them nicely, and then ask them to come and perform the Govardhan Puja. You can imagine they're so happy, they're so blissful. They're performing Govardhan Puja with great deal of enthusiasm and joy and happiness. Indescribable happiness with which they're performing the Govardhan Puja. Glorifying Govardhan, worshipping Govardhan, everything is happening. And finally, Krishna expands into Govardhan. It said that at some point then they make the Annakut, the mountain of rice. This Annakut is also special. It is said that Annakut, these devotees have so much enthusiasm, so much love, and they're so blissful. Actually, they're transcendentally blissful. They don't know what they're doing. You could say they're being directed by Krishna. Krishna has taken charge of their senses. Yogamaya is taken charge, and they make this Annakut so massive that it becomes as big as Mount Kailash. Huge Annakut they make. Mount Kailash is looking and saying, who is this? Suddenly, where did he pop up from? This huge mountain, where has he come from? What is this? Some mysterious phenomena is happening in this world. I need to investigate this. Mount Kailash is feeling like that. A huge, resplendent mountain. Krishna says, go to the top of the mountain, this Annakut, and they have rocks. Mother Yashoda gets everybody to bake cakes. Cakes are like rocks. So they placed at different intervals on the Annakut. These are edible rocks. Mother Yashoda is directing all of them to make like that. So then Krishna says, go to the top of the mountain, Annakut, and pour ghee. So the ghee comes gliding down on the slopes of the Annakut and on the slopes of Govardhan also. So this Annakut made out of rice, there are rocks, cakes which are embedded in different places, and then this ghee is flowing down, glistening, and in the sunshine that is falling, this ghee is looking like molten gold. Shiny molten gold. See, when Krishna is doing something, everything perfectly cooperates with Krishna. So it's like a molten goldish look. They are worshipping Krishna. And then finally Krishna expands himself into Govardhan. He becomes a huge personified Govardhan and stands on top of Govardhan. Krishna is there with the gopis who's worshipping, and Krishna also becomes the personified form of Govardhan, standing on top of the Govardhan mountain. Krishna expands himself into a gigantic form and accepts all the offerings made by the residents of Vrindavan. Krishna is personally expanded as Govardhan, personified form of Govardhan, handsome, huge form, and accepting the offerings given by the residents of Vrindavan. So when there is love, when there is devotion, when there is dedication, when there is selfless nature, Krishna personally accepts. Krishna is showing by this example that he personally accepts the offering made by the gopis and gopas of Vrindavan. And Krishna is saying, oh, look, Govardhan is expanded. Govardhan is there. And he makes everybody pay obeisances to Govardhan, and Krishna himself pays obeisances. One form of Krishna is paying obeisances to another form of Krishna. Krishna is mystical. He is very specially mystical in all his leelas. And this gaiety and joy and happiness, and they all sit together and feast in the end. Actually, it is said that Govardhan accepts the bhoga that's offered, and then when it's time for the feast, Govardhan releases it and gives it back to all the residents. So they're sitting there and having a feast, a great feast they're having of all the bhoga that they offered Govardhan. So even the devatas are puzzled and awestruck and wonderstruck. They're wondering what kind of, it's not a feast. It's a festival of joy that they're witnessing. They're looking at Krishna and saying, he's inundating the hearts of the residents of Vrindavan with happiness. How this one person, one 7-year-old kid, is flooding Vrindavan with happiness, touching everybody's heart, immersing their heart in happiness. They're looking at Krishna and saying, what great tapasya these residents of Vrindavan must have done in their previous lives, and what great tapasya Govardhan must have done to merit this. So they all feast. They have a grand, unforgettable feast on the slopes of Govardhan. And after all that is over, Krishna says, okay, now the real festival starts. He says, let's do a parikrama of Govardhan. Let's do a parikrama, parikrama of Govardhan. So you could say the first parikrama of Govardhan was done by Krishna himself, Krishna Balaram, and their associates in Vrindavan. And so there is a description of how the parikrama happens, how in the beginning of the parikrama, there are the Brahmanas who are chanting Vedic prayers and hymns. Then there's a batch of people who are playing percussion instruments, drums and mridangas and khols and like that. Then behind them is a set of people who are playing the stringed instruments, the veena, the tambura, the violin, and different things, the stringed instruments. And behind them are people who are dressed up very, very colorfully and are dancing. Then behind them are the cows and the calves. And behind them is the Gopa boys, and behind them is Krishna, and behind them are the gopis, and behind them are the elderly. So huge. You can't imagine how colorful, and the gopis are riding on their bullock carts. And it is mentioned that these bullock carts are not ordinary bullock carts. These bullock carts look like golden, shiny rath. They're not some ordinary bullock carts that we see. Krishna, that's what I said. When Krishna decides to do something, everything transforms into its best. The bullock carts become like rath, golden, shiny raths. The gopis of Vrindavan are sitting there, and it's said that because they're so blissfully happy, they're singing boldly. They're singing about the intimate pastimes they have with Krishna. Without any hesitation or shyness, they're singing all these very, very sweet, intimate dealings they have with Krishna. They're all sitting and singing. They become so, transcendental. That's kind of one type of a ecstatic symptom. They're all singing. And the Gopas of Vrindavan, they're walking with Krishna and Balaram. And Krishna and Balaram are leading that group of people who are walking. And it's said that every now and then, Nanda Maharaj would stop the procession, because there would be groups of Brahmanas who have assembled there, and he would give them gifts, worship them and give them gifts. Thank them, worship them and give them gifts. And gifts were not some small time gifts. He would give fully decorated, ornamented cows and calves and chariots and, carpets and chariots and silk and gold and silver and diamonds, like that they would give. Every now and then they would give. And as they are progressing, at one point, Krishna has a cousin sister. Her name is Sunanda. Actually, Krishna's father, Nanda Maharaj, has 3 brothers. Nanda, Upananda, Sananda, and Swarupananda. He has 3 brothers. Nanda Maharaj has totally 4 of them. So Sananda has a daughter by name Sunanda. She's actually cousin sister of Krishna. So it is around this time, I don't know which day, today or tomorrow, we celebrate a festival called Bhai Dooj. Isn't it? When is it? Tomorrow. So we celebrate a festival called Bhai Dooj, and I think in Sanskrit it's called Bratri Vijaya Day. It's called. So Sunanda is waiting at some point, and then she's waiting for Krishna to come, and then when Krishna comes, she worships Krishna. It's a day on which the sisters worship their brothers. She worships Krishna very lovingly, affectionately, and Krishna accepts that worship. She feeds Krishna cakes and different types of exotic sweets that she makes. Krishna is accepting all of it. And she gives gifts to Krishna. Krishna accepts all of those gifts very affectionately. He blesses Sunanda, and then in turn, Krishna gives gifts. Krishna gives silk, expensive, exotically made silk cloth, and like that he gives. And Sunanda is happy. She gives another round of gifting she does to Krishna. She gives him maybe dress and different things. And Krishna, not to be left behind, he gives the next turn of gifts. He gives gold and diamond and jewelry and different things. So there's like a whole competition of gifting going on between Sunanda and Krishna. You see, they are living on a different plane, the residents of Vrindavan. Like I said, the only thing they know, the only thing they care for, the only thing they want is Krishna's pleasure. So this gifting thing is exchange of gifts is going on. Actually, it's not exchange of gifts. It's exchange of loving sentiments. It's what's being exchanged is loving sentiment between Sunanda and Krishna. Externally, it appears like they're exchanging gifts. But you can see that as they're serving it, giving gifts to each other, their love for each other is increasing. And they start giving more. And Krishna starts receiving. Like that, it's increasing. It's kind of a whole upward spiral of loving exchanges between Krishna and his friends. Vrindavan is specially known for that. The loving exchanges between devotees. Loving intimate exchanges. Not that there are no loving exchanges in other places. There are loving exchanges in Dwarka, in Ayodhya, in Vaikunta, in Mathura. But the difference between the loving exchanges in Vrindavan and in all the other places is, in all the other places it's mixed with Aishwarya Bhava. That means they're conscious that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. But only in Vrindavan, they forget that. Yogamaya makes them forget that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. It's just plain love for Krishna as an 8-year-old, mischievous, handsome, very, very extraordinarily beautiful, intelligent, very loving, gentle, attractive personality that they want to serve and please. So that is the difference between Vrindavan and... So in the Govardhan Leela also, this kind of loving exchanges are happening, intimate loving exchanges. So we use the word intimate loving exchanges only for the Leela that happens in Vrindavan and not for the Leela that happens either in Dwarka, Mathura, Ayodhya. There are loving exchanges, but they're formal, very formal, because they're mixed with the consciousness that the Lord is the Lord, Krishna is the Lord. It's mixed with Aishwarya Bhava. So that is what is happening, and the Devatas are watching this ceremony of exchange and they're bewildered. They said, we have never seen Krishna reciprocate in such a intimate manner in any other place, in any other avatar also. Even in Krishna incarnation, he has not reciprocated like that in any other place, nor has he reciprocated like that in any other avatar. This is the most intimate, confidential, very rare mood of Krishna, which we can get to see. It manifests only in Vrindavan. And why does it manifest in Vrindavan? It manifests in Vrindavan because the residents of Vrindavan have that kind of a uninhibited, selfless, intimate, loving sentiment towards Krishna, which is not prevalent anywhere else. So then the procession continues, and it said that everybody is experiencing the highest level of spiritual ecstasy. And it is mentioned by our acharyas that the living entity is tiny, infinitesimal, very small, very tiny. But the capacity of the living entity to experience pleasure, happiness, is infinite. We may be infinitesimal, tiny living entity, but our capacity to experience the reciprocation is infinite. So it is said that the living entity's infinite capacity and eagerness to experience the pleasure of serving Krishna is actually being tested in the Govardhan Leela. And not only is the capacity of the living entity to experience loving reciprocation infinite, it is expanding also. Just as the love of Krishna for the devotees is expanding, the love of the devotees for Krishna is also expanding, and their capacity to experience ecstatic pleasure is expanding. So it is being tested in the sense that the more they serve Krishna, the more inconceivably blissful they become. Which is why it is said, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. It's an ocean of happiness. And this ocean is different from other oceans in the material world, because this ocean expands in depth, in width, in depth, and also in sweetness. It expands in depth, it expands in width, and also in the sweetness of the rasa that it produces, sweetness of the sentiment that it produces. Because Krishna is like that. Which is why the Shastras say, now that you have started worship of Krishna, enough. That's it. Don't look anywhere. By the way, you won't look also. You'll be completely satisfied by worshipping Krishna. So that is how the first Govardhana Parikrama happened. The first Govardhana Puja happened. There's not a single soul who is left behind. Everybody is blissful. The bees, the cows, the calves, the peacocks, the birds. Everybody is blissful. Except one person. And we all know who that one person is, who is very unhappy by what is happening in Govardhan. That is Indra. Indra feels cheated. Indra feels humiliated, insulted. He says, How dare this 7-year-old boy stop this Indra Yaga? It's been going on from time immemorial. Then Indra says that not only has he stopped, but he took all the ingredients that were reserved for me, for my sacrifice, and used it to worship Govardhan. This is like adding insult to injury. Like they say in English, you rub salt into the injury. This is what he has done. He has insulted me. He has humiliated me. How can I bear it? How can I tolerate this 8-year-old kid, talkative kid? What do they think they are? Who do they think they are? Don't they know? Don't they even have common sense to understand that I am the one who gives rain, and without rain they'll be helplessly, in distress. I will make them come to me. Each one of them, I'll make them come to me and beg, repent for what they have done, and beg for forgiveness. If I decide to stop rain or show my real power, they'll all become so helpless. Indra is thinking that I cannot tolerate this. Something has to be done. They have to be taught a lesson. I have to do something like that. Something to show this 7-year-old kid and all the residents of Vrindavan a lesson that they will never forget. So they will not do such an impetuous thing again, being carried away by this childish, immature statements of an 7-year-old kid. What does he know? Krishna, talkative 7-year-old impetuous kid. He doesn't know anything. They have violated principles of dharma. They have violated Vedic scriptures by stopping this worship. We devatas have to be worshipped. There has to be worship for us. They have stopped. They have broken Vedic regulations. So they deserve to be punished. This is what Indra is thinking. He doesn't know that when Krishna is there, Krishna has his own standard. Krishna has his own way of analyzing things. And actually, Krishna is well-wisher. Sometimes we don't understand. Sometimes we have some reverses in our life. We think, why did Krishna do this? Why is Krishna punishing me? May not be true. Krishna may actually be protecting us, rewarding us. Krishna may be teaching us a lesson about humility and how we have to be dependent on Krishna for anything. We cannot be carried away by our own capacity, our strength, our intelligence, our power, our knowledge, our birth, our wealth, or anything. So Krishna is teaching us that none of these things are important except me. You depend not on your strength, not on your intelligence, not on your memory, not on your birth, not on your wealth, not on your power. You depend on me. I am the only person you should depend on. So Krishna has a lesson to teach. So Krishna is teaching. Actually, he is teaching Indra very affectionately this lesson. So Indra is thinking they have broken Vedic regulations, they have disregarded scripture where the worship of demigods is strongly recommended. So I have no choice but to teach them a lesson, because they have followed the advice of a talkative 7-year-old boy. This is what arrogance can do to you. You may even forget who is responsible for all your position, power, everything. You may even decide to challenge them. Like Lord Shiva sometimes decides to challenge Lord Krishna there. He fights with Krishna. Indra does that a few times, not just one time. He does a few times, he does that. So people get carried away, especially those in power. So he says that I have to teach them a lesson. And then it is said that at that point of time, Indra summons the Samvartaka clouds. Samvartaka clouds are not ordinary clouds. They are the clouds of devastation. These clouds are summoned at the end of the cycle of creation to create deluge, flood in the entire creation. Samvartaka. They are the clouds that we release them. Indra is supposed to release them only at the time of dissolution of this creation. But Indra is carried away. He's carried away, he's very proud, he's arrogant, he's feeling insulted, feeling humiliated, and wants revenge. So Indra summons the Samvartaka clouds and appreciates them, glorifies them. You are the best, most powerful clouds in creation. What you can do, nobody else can do. You can flood the world, destroy the world. Whole world you can destroy. That is your power. So now I have a special task for you. So Samarthaka clouds ask, so what can we do to you, my dear master? Then Indra says, I don't want you to disturb any other place in this universe, cosmos, creation. One small village is there called Vrindavan. All of you go there. You 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 submerge Vrindavan. You you destroy Vrindavan. You flood Vrindavan, so that all the residents of Vrindavan should come crying back to me and seek my shelter once again. Samarthaka clouds will think, oh, our master is appreciating, glorifying us. So they say, definitely we can do. We have the power to destroy the world. Not to speak of one tiny village called Vrindavan. So they hastily come towards Vrindavan. And they're not ordinary clouds. When they're released by Indra, they come to Vrindavan. They're like a thick black layer of cloud. Very, very thick black. There are miles and miles of density. I mean, width and height. And they're so powerful. They're so menacing, so risky, so dangerous that not even one ray of sunlight comes through their clouds. You can understand, suddenly there's darkness in Vrindavan. These clouds envelop the entire sky on top of Vrindavan. Not a one ray of sunshine comes through. It's dark. And then comes the lightning and thunder. Lightning and thunder, the lightning that they produce, the thunder they produce is this kind of sound that appears to crack the universe, break the universe into pieces. That's the kind of thunder they produce, rumbling sound of the clouds and thunder they produce. And the lightning will light up the sky occasionally when there is lightning, as if there are millions of suns. So they come there and they announce their arrival on Vrindavan by their thunder, by lightning, and covering the whole space of Vrindavan with dense, thick, dark layer of clouds. And then they start pouring down. The rain, the ferocity, the furious rain that is unleashed by Indra is also described. It's not just few drops of rain. It's like thick sheets of water coming down, cascading down from the sky. Thick sheets of water coming down at great velocity and force. They're landing on the village of Vrindavan, terrifying every resident of Vrindavan. They are terrified. Normally, they protect Krishna. But in extreme emergency, they go to Krishna and seek protection again. They know that this little kid, though he's 7-year-old, 5-year-old, has something in him, some extraordinary power, some extraordinary potency he has. That when we go to him in distress, he will protect us. Rest of the time, he plays kid and we protect him, we take care of him. But when in distress, they have to reach out to Krishna. So they go to Krishna and then they ask Krishna. The cows, the calves, the residents, they all line up in front of Krishna. And then they, in a very diplomatic way, they tell, this is happening, can you see Krishna? Like that, they're saying. Then they're asking a question, is it because we stopped the Indra Yagya or something? Krishna says, yes, I know who's doing it, I know why he's doing it. This is being unleashed by Indra. He's upset, he's angry, he's delusional because we stopped this Indra Yaga. The time has now come for me to teach him a lesson. This is what I've been waiting for me to teach him a lesson. So it's said that Krishna says, okay, don't worry, I'll work out something to save you and protect you all. But the main thing is I have to teach Indra a lesson. It is said that Krishna walks towards Govardhan. And then, like a little child picks up some mushroom or a little piece of stone or something, a flower from the ground. Krishna picks up Govardhan from where it is lying, effortlessly, like we pick up a mushroom or something like that, and holds it up on top of his left hand. Left little finger stands there, and then he says, my dear residents of Vrindavan, please all of you come underneath this Govardhan. Govardhan will protect you. Govardhan is so happy that you all worshipped him. And now Govardhan will take care of you. Govardhan will protect you. You have nothing to worry. As for Govardhan, don't worry. I can hold this Govardhan on my little finger eternally. Nothing to worry. Just come, take this shelter under Govardhan. So, same way we can take shelter under the holy name, take shelter under Krishna, take shelter under the Guru Parampara, take shelter through service to Krishna, especially the holy name. When we chant, and just as Krishna protected the residents of Vrindavan, effortlessly, lovingly. It said that when the cows and the calves come looking at Krishna, the calves are hiding below the cows. Cows are huge body, they're hiding below. They're scared. And there are hailstones. Hailstone means chunks of ice blocks that are falling from top because of Samartaka clouds. These are landing on the bulls and the cows. The calves are underneath. They're looking very, very fearfully at Krishna. Then it says that Krishna glances at these cows and the calves and the residents of Vrindavan with eyes full of love and compassion. It's a very special nature feature of Krishna. He's looking at them with his eyes filled with love, compassion. And Krishna says, assures them, reassures them, don't worry. I won't let Indra or anybody trouble you. Nobody, as long as I am there with you, as long as you're with me. I won't let anybody trouble you. I'll do something for you. And that's when he goes and lifts the Govardhan. And that is the celebration today. First Govardhan is worshipped. They circumambulate Govardhan. They do the parikrama. And then that night there is this, later on in the day, there is this rain. And Krishna lifts the Govardhan on his little finger. And Govardhan is ecstatic. Govardhan is thinking that I always used to feel embarrassed at my size. I'm so massive and huge. I'm real fat, so big. I used to feel embarrassed. What is the use? What is the point in having such big size? And I'm just full of rocks and sand. And Govardhan is feeling like that. But today, my size has come of some value, because now my size is because of my size that Krishna lifted me. He's huge, and I can provide shelter for millions and millions of associates of Krishna. So Krishna says, Govardhan won't harm you. Govardhan will not. Govardhan will protect you. Govardhan will become an umbrella. Come underneath. So they're looking. Is the Govardhan shaking? Is the Govardhan steady? Krishna is laughing. They don't know that this is this Krishna who holds up the entire universe. Billions and billions of stars and planets are supported by him effortlessly. Of course, Ananta Shesha was an expansion of Krishna. Effortlessly. So slowly they get the courage, and then they look underneath the Govardhan. Underneath the Govardhan is a whole new township kind of a place. Very beautiful. Underneath the Govardhan, mystically, there are lakes, and there are trees, and there are ponds, and there is grass and everything, like a whole township layout, ready-made township, ready to be at the service of the residents of Vrindavan, associates of Krishna. Ready-made. And slowly the cows, the calves, everybody starts coming inside, and they're all feeling so completely secure and sheltered. And it is said that when Krishna lifts the Govardhan, the edges of Govardhan, the rocks come tumbling down. And they come tumbling down and become a natural fence around. They become like a fence. The rocks and sand and soil comes tumbling down. So what happens with this? They become like a compound wall, and they prevent the water, the wind, the gusty wind, the cold wind, from piercing cold wind that coming into the shelter, disturbing the residents of Vrindavan, protecting them and not disturbing them, protecting them and preventing them from disturbing the cows and the calves and everybody. So there's a natural barrier, compound wall that's formed, and slowly everybody comes underneath the Govardhan. Govardhan is ecstatic. Govardhan is thinking, at last my birth as Govardhan is what can I say? Achieves its perfection. Purpose is fulfilled today by Krishna lifting me and engaging me in the service of his eternal associates. So Krishna does all of that to protect the associates of Vrindavan. So that is how this Leela is performed. That is how Krishna provides shelter. I think we don't have more time. So then there is this whole next part of the Leela is, and they are also happy. They're all looking at Krishna. Krishna is looking at them. And Krishna enacts another mystical pastime. Every one of the resident of Vrindavan will feel that, who's underneath the Govardhan, will say Krishna is looking at me directly, reciprocating with me personally and directly by smiling at me. Krishna is unique. Krishna is special. Krishna reciprocates personally to everybody. Not that, one size fits all kind of a logic is not there with Krishna. Krishna reciprocates with each one of them personally, lovingly. So everybody thinks that Krishna is smiling at me and smiling only at me. Krishna does that a few times, just for the pleasure of the residents, just for the pleasure of his devotees. They're also happy. And Krishna, in order to relieve their anxiety that something may happen to Govardhan, the first one to come and tell Krishna that is chastise Krishna is Mother Yashoda. She will tell, Mother Yashoda will tell Krishna, oh, you're such an impetuous, hasty kid. You don't even think carefully before you act or say something. Why did you ask us to stop Indrayaga? What would have been the problem? We could have continued that Indrayaga. See now how much difficulty you're faced with. You have to carry this Govardhan on the tip of your little finger. I can imagine how heavy Govardhan is. So I'm making a special prayer to Govardhan. Mother Yashoda is requesting Govardhan. Govardhan, my dear Govardhan, see this 7-year-old boy is being harassed and tortured by Indra. Please, may you become very light and don't cause any stress or pressure on my little child's hand. Mother Yashoda, see? Paternal Vatsalya, Bhava, love for Krishna. So Mother Yashoda is praying, please make sure you're not heavy. This is a boon I'm seeking from you. How can this little 7-year-old boy be subjected to so painful? Indra must be heartless. He's such a heartless person. He's so cruel. He has no compassion. Can't he see what is going on here? Can't he see that because of that rain, my son is going through so much anxiety, pain, stress. So Mother Yashoda is looking at Krishna and saying, how much it must be hurting you. Then Madhu Mangal will go to Krishna, Yashoda Maya and say, no, Krishna is not lifting. I am the greatest Brahmana here in this village of Vrindavan. This mountain is standing, floating in the air because of my mantric power. I have chanted mantras and because of my mantric power, Govardhan is floating. Actually, he says that partly to relieve the anxiety of Yashoda. He wants to relieve the anxiety. He doesn't want Mother Yashoda to feel so anxious. He's saying, I am the one who, because of my power, this is happening. Like that. Then Mother Yashoda will say, oh really? Then Krishna will say, no, actually, yes, I don't know about Madhu Mangal's chanting prayers, but I am telling you, Mother, that Govardhan is, I'm confused. I'm really confused today because I thought Govardhan would be heavy. Govardhan is not heavy, Krishna is telling his Mother Yashoda. He's floating on his own. It appears like I'm holding him, but actually Govardhan is floating on his own. He's floating. He's not heavy. Please don't worry, because they're trying to pacify Mother Yashoda, all of them. Then Mother Yashoda is also smart. She will say, I don't believe all this. You're telling this just to trick me or fool me, as if Govardhan is not heavy. I know how heavy he is. I know how difficult it is. Anyway, after this whole Leela is over, you come home, I'll apply nice oil and massage your hand. Mother Yashoda will tell Govardhan, Krishna. Krishna is confused. Then Mother Yashoda will say, if really Govardhan is light, and it's not because of you that you're holding up Govardhan, let Govardhan fly around in a circle and then let him come. Then I will believe what you're saying. See, this is what is called the sweetness of love. I mean, the loving, sweet exchanges. She will say something, Krishna will say something, Govardhan will say something. Madhu Mangal will say something, Bhattu Gopal. Bhattu is there. There's one Bhattu who is another friend of Krishna. He will also say something. So every available opportunity, Krishna is churning the pot of nectarian sweetness. Churning the pot of nectarian sweetness and fresh, new flavors of sweetness are coming out in every exchange. So then that whole Leela is going on, and under the Govardhan itself, there is a huge festival. You can imagine what's happening to Indra. He thought he can destroy the village of Vrindavan by showering rain. Then the scene shifted to under Govardhan. And then he thought he'll pound Govardhan so hard that Govardhan will melt and break. But Govardhan is feeling bliss. It is said that the thunder and the lightning that strike on the Govardhan, it appears like there's a flower petals which are falling on the back of Govardhan. And itching, you feel like scratching sometimes like that. Govardhan is feeling itchy because the thunder is made so meaningless, powerless in front of Krishna. Govardhan is feeling some flower shower is happening on my back. And like Govardhan has so many trees, millions of trees, hundreds of trees and millions of leaves. And by this thunder shower of Indra, Samvartaka clouds, not one leaf from one of the tree falls down. This is the type of protection Krishna can give. Perfect, complete 360-degree protection. So Krishna, one of the things he wants to show is how completely he will protect his devotees. Simply they have to chant Hare Krishna mantra. I'll close with this one observation. It is said that anybody who even hears the Leela of Govardhan Puja Leela, even hears it, for him all calamities and trouble and anxieties and disasters and tragedies in his life will get melted away simply by hearing the Leela of Govardhan. So Krishna is so completely perfect. And once you start dealing with Krishna, there's no limit to how happy, how blissful one can become. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Actually, there's so much more to say. We can't complete this Leela in one session. Thank you very much for joining us today morning and listening. May you all have a wonderful festival, a great year ahead. Happy Diwali. May Lord Giri Govardhan, may Lord, of course, Krishna also shows that he is non-different from Govardhan, that he is present in every atom of Govardhan. Krishna is present. Hence, Govardhan, by the way, is also known as Haridasa Varyu, the most prominent among the servants of Krishna. So, we can learn so many things, and I pray that we all become better devotees, relish the pastimes of Krishna, absorb our minds and hearts in them, and perform and become more intensely engaged, lovingly engaged in the service of Krishna. And also, each one of us come forward and take some responsibility in furthering the mission of Lord Chaitanya and and Srila Prabhupada. Contribute in a very significant way in furthering this mission and bring happiness, shelter into the lives of so many people, exactly like Krishna brought into the lives of the residents of Vrindavan. Krishna wants to extend. Govardhan wants to grow and provide shelter for everybody like the same manner. The holy name can expand its mercy and provide shelter for all the living entities, if not everywhere, at least in the twin cities, Hyderabad, Secunderabad. We should make that endeavor, the sankalpa, that increasing number of people come under the loving shelter of Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Have a great festival. Hare Krishna.